Shalom, family. Once again, checking in for a little bit to bring another word of spiritual food for thought. As I always say, I just hope that in this season and this time that you're hanging in there and you're doing all right in your walk. And be encouraged if it's a struggle, because it's through the struggle that the Most High is delivering us from the darkness of the lies that we've been taught and told throughout our existence in this realm of His permissive will, which I say this is the realm of creation. This is the realm where the resistance that's necessary for anything truly to exist. As I said, nothing's real unless there's a process. And so this is our process of being born in the spirit, as we first are born in the flesh and are, basically taught the ways of the flesh. We are placed in an environment that's conducive to our flesh being made the one that obviously causes us to walk in the spirit of our senses and causes us to be driven by our desires for pleasure. Because in our fallen nature, family, that's what we are slave to, our desires. We're slave to our senses. And so actually our senses is just the spiritual avenue or portal where the desires of the senses are there and come forth to ultimately drive us to the point where we become emotional. And once we're emotional, we'll make a decision based on how we feel versus making a decision that's lined up with the understanding of our Creator. So this is what this battle is about. And as I said, the battle of good and evil is being played out in our minds, which is the pinnacle of our earthen vessels. This is why, the battle is for your mind, because the mind controls the body, and the body will not do anything that the mind is absolute understanding of that the mind won't allow the body to go against that. It's when that time comes when the things of the kingdom and the things of the spirit, they actually make sense. And when we use that term, we're actually saying that even our soul lines up with the perfect will through the understanding of the Ruach of our Creator. So therefore we can't violate His desires. And as I said, the ultimate desire or what the Most High desires is the spirit of love to actually manifest the oneness of His kingdom, where all His creation operates in a spirit of oneness and harmony, because we are full of the knowledge and understanding of our Creator. So therefore we're able to see ourselves through His eyes. And as we are able to see ourselves through His eyes, then we're able to line up with the perfect will of our Creator, because as a created being, we can't disobey our Creator, because the bottom line is the understanding that He gives us, it becomes our nature, okay? And as I said, in the end, our nature as a child of the Most High Power that has the same desires that He have, and that's the oneness of His love and the desire for His creation, which includes us, can walk in harmony and oneness, and that we all can be a blessing and a light to each other to maintain the desire of the Father, and that's to be in oneness and in love. So we all simply play our parts and walk in the place that our Creator has designed us to walk in. But we can't understand that place until we're born of the Spirit. This is why, the main thing I keep, putting out there, family, is, the only thing the Most High wanted from us was to be ourselves with the understanding of His mind as His child. So we must be born of His Spirit. If we ain't filled with His Spirit, family, it's a chink in the armor, and Hasatan will continue to have power and control over us. through the spirit of our, well, as I said, our souls, because our souls is the very thing that need to be put in its proper place. Because if we're spiritually dead, then our souls is just having its way. And the lust and the desires of the flesh is just running us. It motivates us to do the things that we do outside the perfect will of our Heavenly Father. So this is why we must be born again, because we're spiritually dead. And so then we're a part of the adversary of the Most High Power. So, as the scripture says, the natural man received not the things of the Spirit of Yah, because it's foolishness to him, and neither can he know them, because it's spiritually discerned. That means man in his fallen nature, he cannot receive the Ruach HaKodesh. He cannot receive the truth of the kingdom, okay? Because the expression of his nature is Hasatan, because Hasatan is the nature of fallen man. He's the spirit of fallen man, where fallen man desires to be his own Elohim and to be worshipped by his environment. Okay, so we got to begin to understand the reality, family, that when we're talking about order, the only order that really matters is the order of the Most High Power, the order of the kingdom. Man is, talking about bringing forth his new world order, but the reality is, ever since Adam, ever since Adam chose to disobey the Most High, we've been in a new world order, an order of Hasatan, where man is his own Elohim, and the condition of this world is conducive to the reality that man is destructive in his nature, just like Hasatan, because Hasatan is the spirit of the destroyer. Okay, so the reality is, until we understand our nature, in this fallen nature, we don't have a chance. So the only way we can overcome this fallen nature is to be birthed of his spirit. That's the only way. That's one of the things that's so sad today, to sit up here and watch people continue to just continue to walk in ignorance and darkness and accept the things that we've been fed by the spirit of religion. Okay, and as I said, religion is simply man's thought process that allows him to continue to deify himself and continue to make himself an Elohim, where he doesn't have to give an account to the Most High Power, but he believes he's his own Elohim. Okay, so therefore he has a desire to rule the world around him. That's people, places, and things around him in his environment to conduce his comfort and convenience. And when he feels he's in control and ruling, that brings forth that pride that causes him to continue to be lifted up and, basically being led to destruction. Because the Most High said he resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. You know what I'm saying? But you can't even be humbled but by the power of the Ruach HaKodesh, because, as I said, the Ruach brings us into the presence of our Creator. And in his presence, we can't sin. We can't violate him and his laws, because we understand and we're in total agreement with what he's taught us. So therefore we can't sin against him. And as I said, really sin against the Most High is the sins against nature, is violating his natural laws that actually has called forth and brought forth the disorder that we exist in right now. Okay, so the only way we could be freed from this spirit of darkness, family, is to be born again through the understanding of his Ruach. As I said, Yeshua came to open the door to bring us to the place that we can walk and have the same understanding that he does, because of his relation with the Father. We have the same relationship with the Father through his Spirit, but we don't realize it because religion has kept us separated from the Most High Power. As I said, religion is the veil of the temple that was torn down at Yeshua's death, that opened the door that all men can come into the new covenant, because the new covenant really is about us being brought into that right fellowship with our Creator and understanding and knowing our place so that we could fulfill our destiny in Him. And that's being a part of manifesting His kingdom on this earth. So, the real point I just wanted to make that, only the Most High Power can bring forth order. And that's the order of the kingdom, where all things are under the subjection to the spirit of love that causes each created being to walk in the fullness of his understanding, his place within the kingdom. Being able to understand and accept the reality that the Most High, all He ever wanted us to be is ourselves, but with the understanding of His mind. He didn't want us to be like somebody else. He didn't want us to desire to be like somebody else, because the Most High has given all of us a purpose. He's given us abilities and all of these things that only we can do. That's the uniqueness of who we are, because He made us all unique with a plan and a purpose. And our responsibility as His child is to seek out what that is, so we can be who and what He desires us to be in the kingdom, as a part of the kingdom, as a part of the kingdom that exemplifies all the love and the positive energy of the kingdom of the Most High Yah, Most High Power. Because this world exemplifies the darkness of Hasatan and all things that's separated from out the presence of the Most High. And as I said, as the Most High Power, don't get it wrong. See, what happens is when we're out of His presence is because as created beings, if we lose consciousness that we're in the presence of the Most High Power, this is the only way, and this is when the works of darkness take place. Because if we're standing in the presence of His light and His truth, all darkness don't exist, so it's bound. Okay, so the reality is the Most High is taking back His creation that He allowed to come to this place, so that through the Spirit He could birth us with the understanding of the experience of good and evil that He's brought us through, to truly and wholly take possession of who we are in Him. As I said, Adam and Chua fell because they were not born of the Spirit. They was given everything without paying a price, and this is why they squandered what they had. They believed they was lacking something, but only thing they was lacking was a higher and further understanding of who they are as far as the Creator is concerned. Because they were in their flesh, they were lacking something. Okay, so the reality is this is what led to our fall. But also our fall brought things to a place where the process of our creation and being born in the Spirit begun. Okay, and so as we go through this process of good and evil, which is this realm of consciousness right now, this is His permissive will, where the things He has to allow to manifest the kingdom, these are the things that's being allowed right now, that's birthing us in the Spirit, okay? But the reality is the time is coming that this process is about to end, and the Most High is going to manifest the truth of His righteous kingdom, which is the kingdom of heaven, okay, where all things operate and flow in the spirit of love, where there's harmony, there's peace, there's all of the wonderful things that we really desire to walk in. That's the kingdom. Anything that causes deceptions and death and lies and all of these things won't be a part of the kingdom, but they'll be on the least side of the kingdom, which is the lake of fire. Okay? And so, as I said, we got to understand as created beings, only the Most High Power can bring forth order. So, how He's going to bring forth that order? Well, He's going to bring forth that order through His people, through His children, through those that He's chosen to be a part of His kingdom. So, He's going to manifest that thing through us as we continue to grow in our understanding of who we are in him. So therefore, we'll be able to be who he desired us to be in the first place. It's all he wanted. You know what I'm saying? As I said, it's been so many false teachings and stuff going on, and we have to be free from all those lies. Because as I said, the beginning of your salvation process is when you begin to question your existence. And then you come to realize your spiritual condition. We come to realize the reality that the kingdom, this world is not the kingdom of the Most High Power that we've been a part of. And so as Yeshua tried to teach us and tried to show us as the way he lived, but he said, know ye not that the kingdom is in you. The kingdom of heaven is in you. Yes, by the power of the Ruach HaKodesh, as the Most High placed the portion of himself in all of us, okay? But it's those who are being drawn by the Spirit that's going to come into the fullness of the understanding of who they are in him. So therefore, they're going to be a part of the manifestation of the kingdom. Those who don't desire, there's the bottom of that portion of the Ruach that he put in them. He's taking it away now, okay? And he's giving that portion to those who do love him, that it matters what he thinks of us. Those that seek to be a part of the kingdom, to find themselves in the Creator and all that, he's filling us with his Ruach. But it's at the expense also of those who have rejected him. So the reality is that's why their hearts are being hardened. That's why they have received a reprobate mind that caused them to believe the lies of Hasatan and to be subjects and slaves to those things. As the scripture says, the natural man cannot receive the things of the spirit of Elohim. Because the fallen man, the natural man of this world, he's not subject to the laws of the Most High Power. That's why he can't keep them, because he has no understanding what they are. And the reality, we must understand the higher laws of the Most High Power, because that's the foundational laws of love, the love of the kingdom. So if you don't have any understanding of that, how can you possibly even think that you could begin to keep the laws of the flesh? It ain't possible without the birthing of the Ruach. So the only way we can truly be changed is that we have to understand the real offense against the Most High. And the reality is, the bottom line is very much the opposite of what love is supposed to be. Because the bottom line is, as I said, in this fallen nature, starting with Israel, the Most High holds us responsible for murdering his son. Okay? And just to touch on that a little tidbit, as I said, Yeshua came to bring forth a message that would turn the whole world upside down. Because the message of the oneness of his love for his creation would bring an end to the kingdoms of man that's been running this earth since the beginning. Okay, so it would eliminate the priesthood of men. It would call men to accountability. All these things, family. And so the reality is, those who in authority was not willing to relinquish the kingdom to Yeshua, because it meant the end of their reign and their power and even their absolute purpose for existing, because they exist to have preeminence over other people and rule and control and all these things. And the bottom line is, all the Most High ever meant us as man to control is ourselves, but not rule the world around us, because we're supposed to rule by serving and assisting and helping creation. The Most High Power is the only one. He's the only being that has the right to rule over all of us. And he rules us by his spirit, the spirit of love that he's given to those that he's chosen. So this is what keeps us lined up with him. And we have no desire to sin against him. So the bottom line is, it causes us, as he continues to reveal different things to us, we walk in obedience to him with gladness, because we understand this is the absolute truth and the love of our Creator for us, that he would actually take this time to teach us his ways and teach us our flaws so that we can overcome those things and not continue to be subject to the rulers of the darkness of this world and the spiritual wickedness in high places. And as I've said, the mind is the pinnacle of this earthen vessel. That's where the spiritual wickedness in high places, that's where that battle's taken forth. But the reality is, because of the Ruach HaKodesh, it gives us the insight to see these spiritual things so that we can overcome these things through the understanding of our Creator. The same understanding that ruled in Yeshua's life. As I said, Yeshua was an example of what and who we are, but we haven't realized because we haven't been born of the Spirit. So, excuse me, so we must understand that without the birthing of the Spirit and being filled with the Spirit, we ain't got a chance. And so, as I said, the message of Yeshua came to show us the way, how we should be living. And then he made it possible for us to receive his Spirit that would cause us to understand the things of the Most High power in the kingdom so we could walk in his ways just as he walked. As I said, Yeshua came to conquer death. In this realm that we exist in, this is the realm of death, because this is the realm of Hasatan's rule. Okay, so we have to be delivered from this, because the thinking like a man, this is the mark of the beast. And as I said, the mark of the beast is not a matter of choice, because it's not, you don't choose things that cause you to be subject to the mark of the beast. No, it's because you subject to the mark of the beast already in your nature. By not being born of the Spirit, all of these external things like taking a poke, doing whatever it takes to, keep your job, that causes you to compromise who you really are. And all these different things that the world throw at us, family, that we think that because as a child of the Most High Power, we don't have a choice. We can't be a part of those things. So it's just the decision by the Father has already been made in us. Because as we receive his Ruach and continue to be born in the Spirit, family, we gladly submit to the will of our Creator. So therefore, we can't take part in the things of this world. And this is where the Most High is bringing us to in our understanding. And as we continue to get closer to him, we understand that he's separating us from this world. He's making things that we're not going to be able to partake of things in this world to move forward. Because ultimately the Most High is going to take us back to nature. Because as we understand the beauty of his love and oneness of his creation, as far as the kingdom is concerned, we can't be a part of this. He's putting us in another place, family, that we are not going to be living after the ways of the world. And as the Most High set us apart to do so, then he's going to deal with the wickedness that's running this world. He's going to deal with Hasatan, the spirit of Hasatan, that fallen man is enslaved to, and nothing more than a vessel that's being used to permeate the satanic energy that causes this world to go on in the way that it is going right now, and is headed for destruction. So, as I said, Yeshua came to conquer death. Okay, because as he conquered death, then it opened the door for us to conquer death by the same spirit that ruled in his life that caused him to conquer death. As I said, death is not just the grave, family. It's this whole existence in darkness is death. Okay, because we're spiritually dead and not one with the Most High. So what does that make us? Dead to him. Okay, so the next thing Yeshua came to conquer was the priesthood of men, to overthrow the priesthood of men, because to show us that all he ever wanted was communion with us himself. He didn't need no man to communicate to us what we should be doing and all these things when he could speak to us himself. Because as I said, what Yeshua did is just like the Father chose to do things himself. Because he sent all other kind of people and it never got done. Not that it was anything wrong with the people that he chose to share the truth, but the hearts of the people that the message was delivered to was corrupted. So they never could receive the truth. And so the reality is, as we are born of the Spirit, family, the same Spirit that raised, the scripture says, the same Spirit that raised Yeshua from the dead shall also quicken our mortal bodies. Yeah, quicken our minds, okay, by the same Spirit to give us the same insight and understanding that He has. Okay, we will have that same understanding through His Spirit. Only we just get to be ourselves and walk in the framework that the Most High has chosen to create us to operate in. And this is how we serve Him, by being ourselves, but with the mind and understanding of the kingdom of heaven, which is His kingdom. Okay, the completed kingdom of the Most High. It's the completed work where we truly get to be all we're supposed to be, and we'll be under that spirit of His divine love, and all of creation will be under that spirit. So guess what? That means with the fellow creatures in this world, we're going to be one, so it's not going to be no more harm to them and all of these things. And He's already beginning that process, because as we understand, as I said, in the spirit of the kingdom, thou shalt not kill. It ain't just talking about us killing each other. It's talking about us killing His creatures. You know what I'm saying? For all the various reasons that we do. Okay? So the bottom line is, as we continue to do those things, family, we're not walking in the spirit of His love. We can't. There's no way. If we think it's okay to murder one of His living creatures for our pleasure. As I said, one of the things, just a thought just came to me. See, when we talk about murder and death, it's not just a matter of cutting off the breath of life in that earthen vessel, because that's murder. You know what I'm saying? It is murder. It's what it is. But when you cause people, the creatures of this world, all these things, into slavery to serve you for your financial gain and whatever. So as long as you rule and control, you keep Elohim's living creatures that He created with a purpose and with life and all of these things, you keep them from carrying out their purpose in the Most High, you're a murderer. So as I said, as you impose your will on others, when you have no right to. You was never chosen to rule over other people. You are only to rule over yourself, but you can't rule yourself if you don't understand yourself through the understanding of the Creator. So this is why we must seek out how He sees us, so that He can correct us and show us only thing He meant for us to rule over is ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Self-control is the final fruit of the fruits of the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? So that's a reward. You know what I'm saying? For loyalty and all the things that the Most High has charged us to do, for us to walk in those things. Okay, so the reality is, family, we got to understand the Most High don't see things like us. You know what I'm saying? Because as I said, you think murder is just taking their physical life, where you bring forth, and the Most High is in control of all that still. But the reality is, as you take the life of one of His living creatures, it's like that life came from Him. And that life is one expression of a part of Himself, of what He is. So when you take that life, it's like slaying the Most High, the spirit of the Most High that He put in that being, that He meant to be expressed as that being with a purpose. Okay, so it's like, when that spirit of murder, it's like you slaying the Most High power that's in that living creature. So that's why that thing is so wicked. It's abominable to Him. Because you're denying Him the control that He has over His creatures. And you try to enslave them to do your bidding. This is why, as I said, ain't no man got no right to be trying to lead nobody right now in this hour. Because the Most High, until you humble yourself before the presence of the Most High and realize and come to grips that you are a created being, and you was created to serve Him, and you have no idea how to serve Him because of all the BS that religion in this world and taught you about yourself. So we wind up being in this world, and we be who man say we are, instead of what the Most High Power, who He says we are. And you'll never find it until you look within yourself and find the kingdom within you, and to begin to open the door of your mind that Yeshua, as you ask, as Yeshua can come in and sup with you. That means have dialogue with you, between you and Him. And He said, me and my Father will make our abode there. So it's dialogue between you and the Most High Power as you open up your mind, to have your mind renewed by the understanding of our Creator. Because if, like I said, to be at odds with Him, that's a battle that's been lost a long time ago. Because it's no, how do you fight the Creator of all things? How do you fight your Creator in your right mind? You can't. There's no way. To do so is in a spirit of madness and denial. And that's the way the unrighteous live, as a slave to Hasatan. So, with that said, when we talk about order, family, our only hope is that the Most High is the only one that can bring order. And He will bring order as He begins and continues to pour out of His Spirit the revelation of His mind, and gives us the understanding of our place as a created being that was one of His children, that we begin to walk in our purpose, in our responsibility, and that's to be a light to those around us, to this world. Those of, within the nation, those that's a part of all nations. It doesn't matter. We're supposed to be a light to them. And we've been anything but that. Because until we walk in the same nature of Yeshua, how can we be a light to the world? See what I'm saying? And the only way to walk in the same nature as Yeshua is to do what? Yep, got to receive the mind of the Ruach HaKodesh, the baptism of the Holy Spirit, in which your mind becomes saturated with the truth of the Most High Power of the kingdom. So therefore, we simply yield to the will, the perfect will of our Creator, and to serve Him in our existence in what way He chooses us to walk in. That's what we walk in. So, man can't bring order. Nobody can bring order but the Most High Power. So it shows us, if you really understand that, the urgency of the hour for us to become one with Him in our minds and our thinking, that we can be a part of the manifestation of kingdom and not be the resistance that's trying to fight the manifestation of the kingdom. And we got to understand, we have to start thinking about things that matter, because it's been one of the greatest weapons of Hasatan has been to keep us distracted, so we don't get that quiet time where we begin to ponder ourselves and question our existence and all that. This is why He constantly trying to teach you about stuff that don't matter right now, because the Most High ain't dealing in these areas right now this way. Because the new way, He's manifesting the new covenant amongst His people. And that new covenant goes for all the other living creatures of this world and the Mother Earth and who we all came from. So as I said, man, in his arrogance, we're always talking about ourselves and stuff, but this is about the Most High sent Yeshua to redeem His creation. It wasn't just about us. It was to redeem His creation, to save them from us, because by us being slaves to the Hasatan, we've all but destroyed the Most High's creation. But His intervention is taking place, and He's waking us, those of us who desire to know the truth and to know Him and to seek after Him. As He's waking us, He's preparing us to manifest the kingdom that's going to bring an end to this world as we know it. Okay? So, I guess pretty much that's all I got to say about this little video. As I said, continually seek the Most High for yourself and stop putting your trust in men. to lead you to the kingdom, because men can only take you far as they've gone themselves. And if they're unholy and unrighteous in the presence of the Most High, why would you follow them and submit yourself to their will, when the Most High has given us the best deal ever, which is what the baptism of the Ruach HaKodesh is, the new covenant, where we come into full understanding of what and who we are through the eyes of the Father, which empowers us to walk in obedience to his perfect will and no longer carry on in the ways of this world. So anyway, family, as I said, again, I'm not trying to teach you nothing or anything. I just share these videos just trying to give you something to think about and consider. Because as a created being, you got a destiny. But you should know that destiny as far as your Creator, as his revelation to you comes forth. Okay, because he got all your answers about who you are in your life and your purpose, and no other man or purpose, person can lead you to that, to tell you that, because guess what? As created beings, we all need to be walking out our own salvation, our own understanding, and we can't do it but by the power of the Ruach HaKodesh completely possessing our thinking, that makes us one with our Elohim. So that's when it's a done daughter. That's when we walking in the power of the Spirit in his ways. And we can rest in his love for us. Okay, because as we understand his love for us, then we can receive his love. And we can love ourselves with the love of the righteous love of the Creator. So therefore, there's no pride, there's no arrogance or anything like that, but it's humility. And so therefore we desire to serve him no matter what we got to deal with or go through. That's not even an issue, because this life ain't nothing but a test and a proving ground for the kingdom of the Most High Power, which is the kingdom of heaven, as he brings forth the creation of his children and his people and his creatures and Mother Earth herself. Okay, so anyway, until next time, family, I say one love, and may the favor and peace of the Most High rest upon you as you continue to seek him out for yourself. So with that, I will say shalom.